So in 2004, after arriving back from Europe, where I had been in the Azores, Portugal, for a couple of years, traveling back and forth to Canada a few times, I met back with a friend of mine, Trip, Dennis, who was like you know, a brother to me at the time, meaning like he was a really cool guy and everything else. Got along with him. Um, he at the time was dating a woman, a drug trafficker and a member of Lebanese organized crime operations, a woman by the name of Erica Kelly, um, who's a crack addict at the time. Um, Funny enough, which I don't think Dennis understood or knew, she was a crack addict at the time when he started dating her. Um, Dennis invites me to attend the venue with him, um, and I decided to accept the invitation. And upon arriving there and attending the venue, I realized it was a Lebanese organized crime venue with the ownership involved in sale of heroin pills, ecstasy, cocaine, ketamine, and other drugs being sold by the ownership in a partnership with drug dealers, and quickly realized that it wasn't just a small time Lebanese organized crime operation, that it was terror linked as well. Um, a couple of months went by, and Erica decides to approach me, um, telling me that she had had a problem with Trip and that he was smoking crack cocaine, which made no sense to me since he wasn't a crack addict or a crack user. And after divulging she had gone to the Lebanese and there was several death threats being mentioned and involved, I decided to walk her to 52 Division and have her speak to an officer um, about the matter, just for safety precautions, so that just to give um, the officers kind of a grasp of what she was trying to do, which was trying to get a friend of mine killed. At the same time, get a file opened on him so that if anything did happen to him, it would be known as a retaliation. Um, um, right afterwards, a friend of hers, a guy that I had met through Erica, as Sean Murray, an amphetamine addict, crystal meth addict, and dealer, was making the same death threats, kept on telling me he was going to kill Trip. And I assured him Trip wasn't going to be a problem and that there was a misunderstanding between the two of them. And I played onto his game by siding with him verbally to ensure him that he was, that he'd be okay, and there's all this other stuff just to get him rolled up on a. I just took the woman to a 52 Division, so keep talking because there's a file already open. And so after several death threats and all that, Trip disappeared, and I didn't see Trip for that entire period of time, and haven't seen him since. Um, Except for I think I seen him once during a filming, and didn't even. Just gave him a slight salute and like a sign of salute respect and walked out. Um, Afterwards, I started to be um, aggressed in my files were touched. My CPIC police files, my started being touched, and then I was notified by a foreign entity to make sure that I was okay. Uh, as I had opened up a second investigation into terror organizations being linked to the same group at the time in Europe. Uh, as a precaution, like you're dealing with people involved in the Lebanese community, organized crime, there's terror links. If it's Lebanese, there's terror links. There's Hezbollah, there's all kinds of different organizations that are considered terror organizations. To the government, I hold a passport to the Portuguese government, and I'm a U.S. born citizen that ended up in the Azores. So uh, the U.S. government is always, on top of terror organizations. So it's as a citizen, it's always good to represent yourself as not being involved and clear yourself by, either reporting an incident, a suspicion of activity. It is actually your duty as a U.S. citizen to do so. Um, um, Afterwards, I quickly stopped even communicating with Mr. Murray because he was a crackhead, like a crystal head, what we call a crystal crackhead, a math user. Um, he continued to attack my life and continued to use his cyber hacking, friendships, and so on to continue to attack my person and my personal information and so on. Um, I left it out to an agency to deal with it and carried on with my life. Um, got into a relationship, had a son, and continued on with my life. Then I was approached while I was on College Street by a member of a family, by a Clarambanga, who was a member of the same organization, and I had family in the Lebanese organized crime families through her cousin, Jillian Cola's husband, um, and also an Agnieszka, an individual who was a crack addict and a drug addict and a cocaine trafficker that was working at a Kensington Market backpackers hostel as a desk or a management member. Um, I later on came across Agnieszka in Streetsville, a town that I had resided in. I realized she was back to her, doing the same thing as always, involving crack and cocaine trafficking. I later realized she was involved with members of the Portuguese organized criminal activity and organized crime in Streetsville. Carlos Linhares, another crack cocaine addict and trafficker um, that was being investigated to begin with because of his sister's involvement with criminal activity in Bermuda. Um, this this goes to show you, be really careful when you're out and you meet people who you're meeting. Um, these people are sick individuals because they're drug addicts. They represent criminal organizations and they work for criminal organizations that use addicted police service members, addicted to drugs, or corrupt police services members as security members of their club security and so on. So your personal information is available to these individuals as soon as they find a bullshit, bogus reason to open up your personal police records, your personal information, and so on. So you really, really got to be really careful who you meet, um, and take precautions when you meet these individuals by reporting who they are, whose criminal links they have, whose terror organization links they have to ensure your own security and safety at all times and the security of your family.